All right, well, it's 3:02, so we'll go ahead and get started just to respect everybody's time. There may be others that jump in at some point. I'm Tiffany Gerlich. I'm with Strategies to End Homelessness. For those of you that don't know, I think I know everyone on the call, but I'm the RentConnect manager at Strategies, and we are going to talk to you today about a new initiative where we are offering energy efficiency upgrade funding for units that are in pad mission in the RentConnect program to increase the energy efficiency of the unit, which will in turn reduce electricity bills for tenants. Also on this call is a couple other people with Strategies and the city of Cincinnati. If you two, I think it's just the two of you, want to introduce yourself, or there may be three of you, I'm sorry.
I can go. I'm Laura Ellis Mazzaro. I'm the Continuum of Care Director, and I work with Tiffany. Tiffany, I can manage chat and people coming in. I know that you're getting distracted, so I can help you out with that.
Awesome, thank you. And Rachel?
Yeah, hi all. My name is Rachel Bickett. I'm the Sustainability Project Coordinator for the City of Cincinnati Office of Environment and Sustainability, and we're so excited to have this program launch and help some folks with some upgrades. Thanks.
Awesome. Was there somebody else on the call from the city?
I don't think so.
Hey,
Okay.
yes, I just joined
Oh, there
a
is.
little bit late.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jemiah. I'm a fellow until December with the Office of Environment and Sustainability within the city. So excited to be here and engage with you all.
Awesome, thank you. And then we have quite a few of our RentConnect property partners on the call as well. So again, like Rachel said, we're super excited to give you information about this new program. And the agenda here, we're just going to do an overview of what we're talking about here, and then talk about the eligibility requirements. We do have some different tiers for the upgrades that can be completed, and then the request and approval process, and then we'll open it up for some questions at the end. So basically, the City of Cincinnati, Duke Energy, and Strategies are partnering to bring you all the RentConnect Building Upgrade Incentives Program. So the program aims to support low-income tenants in the City of Cincinnati by providing funding for RentConnect property owners to complete energy efficiency upgrades, like I mentioned, in their multifamily buildings. So the program offers financial support through a structured approval and reimbursement process, which we will go over in this meeting. And if approved, the funding shall be used to perform whole building and in-unit energy efficiency upgrades, again, to provide electricity savings to the tenants in those units. A maximum of $15,000 may be awarded per property owner per year, and this amount can be one payment for one project, or it can be divided among multiple properties or multiple projects at one property. And the eligibility requirements, which I listed in the invite, so these should not be a surprise to you. I just wanted to make sure that you all had these up front before coming to the meeting. So the properties, again, must be listed in pad mission. So we are making this available now only for RentConnect property partners who are listing their units in pad mission. The units must be located in the City of Cincinnati. They have to be multifamily buildings, so there must be 2 or more units in the building. And the tenant would have to be paying the electricity bill, so they would have to have that Duke bill in their name. And the building would need to have at least 50% of the tenants occupying it at or below 200% federal poverty level. And the approved upgrades, all improvements must be Energy Star rated and primarily impact electricity savings. So we do have 2 different tiers for the upgrades. The tier 1 upgrades, these are going to be priority upgrades that have the highest impact on electricity savings. And these are going to be covered at 75% by the program. So the owner would be responsible for 25% of the cost. And then we have tier 2, and the upgrades here also provide energy savings, but just not as high of an impact as the tier 1 upgrades. And these will be covered at 50%, and the owner would be responsible for the other 50%. So let's look at the tiers. This is tier 1, and again, these are all covered at 75%. So the first measure would be insulation, and this can be like adding insulation if it's just kind of been depleted, or it can be installing new insulation to the building cavities, the attics, basements, ceilings, floors, ducts, and walls, and this is to reduce energy loss. The second one is air sealing. So this is sealing air leaks to reduce air infiltration. And this includes foam insulation, caulking, weather stripping, ceilings around doors and windows and other locations where there is uncontrolled airflow. And then the other one in tier 1 is the duct sealing repair. So this would be repairing existing ducts just to reduce the leakage using aerosol, foil tape, mastic sealant, and latex sealant. And then the tier 2 upgrades, there's quite a few more in this, so this is a couple different slides. Hopefully you guys can read that okay. So these are all covered at 50%. So we're looking at replacing washers and dryers. Now keep in mind for these appliances, if the unit does not already have them, you can't use these funds to purchase one. It would have to be replacing one that is already there. And so it would be replacing it, the washer or dryer, with Energy Star certified units. And then also for the washers and dryers, the energy that it costs to run the washer and dryer does have to be paid for by the tenant. So if it's a washer and dryer, say in a basement, and the property owner is covering the electricity for that, that would not qualify. The refrigerator and freezer, you can also replace the existing refrigerators and freezers with Energy Star certified equipment. Room air conditioners, again, replacing existing room air conditioners with Energy Star. If there's not a room air conditioner already, we can't pay to purchase one. It would have to be replacing one that already exists. And then advanced power strips. So installing advanced power strips on the entertainment center or home office equipment. These will automatically shut off when equipment that's plugged into them is not being used. And then appliance recycling. So if you are replacing appliances and you choose to recycle the old ones, we will pay for 50% of the cost for the recycling. And then LED lighting, again at 50%, this would be replacing any existing interior or exterior lamps or any light fixtures with LED fixtures. And then for water, faucet aerator, replacing existing aerator with high efficiency aerator on all the faucets to reduce the flow. Pipe wrapping, so wrapping any exposed pipes with approved pipe wrap to prevent heat loss. And then shower heads, so replacing existing shower heads with either the handheld if needed by the tenant, or just a simple standard low flow shower head. And then the last one is the dehumidifier and exhaust fan replacement. So replacing existing equipment with efficient functioning equipment to improve the indoor air quality. And again, this you can't install a new one, but it would just be replacing one that is already there with one that's more efficient. And then we have the other category. So there is some openness to other possible technology upgrades that are not listed above. These requests will have to be approved by the city. So they're like, again, you can request some things that are outside of what's in these tiers, but we would require a meeting to discuss it, and then we would have to have the approval from the city. So the request and approval process, try to make this as simple as possible. Basically, the property owner would submit a request form, and funding is awarded on a first come, first served basis. We will respond to the request within 5 business days. And like I just mentioned, if it's a non-standard upgrade that's not listed in our tiers, it would require a meeting with strategies and the landlords, property owners, just to determine if it's something that would be eligible. And then we would get, if we determine it was, we would get approval by the city. And then once the request is approved, the upgrade does have to be completed within 60 days. There is a potential for a waiver. If there's some delay in getting the work done, you can request a waiver of 30 days. But essentially, we would like to have these upgrades completed within 60 days. And then upon completion, you would submit the receipt for reimbursement or the invoice to pay the vendor direct. So we can either reimburse you, or if you give us the invoice, we can pay the invoice for you. And then we would need a W-9 for whoever the payment would be going to. And then the RentConnect manager, me, would be verifying the completion of the work. So we can do this through site visits. We can also do it through photos or video, FaceTime, whatever works out and is easiest for everyone. We can determine that the work has actually been completed. And once we do that, then Strategies will render payment for the upgrade. So I just did some screenshots of the actual application. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the first page is going to ask you to just make some attestations. I can't say that word very well, but basically you're just going to attest to, some of the eligibility requirements that, it's a multifamily unit, it's in the city of Cincinnati, it's in PAD Mission, things like that. It does ask you to agree to an affordability covenant so that we're preventing rent increases for at least 2 years post upgrade. So we will ask you to agree to that. And again, it's just a few other attestations there. And then the application is just going to ask you for, your name, address, point of contact. That's really important. That's the person that we're going to be reaching out to. Thank you. That's who we'll be reaching out to through the process. So that can be the same as, the landlord, or it may be somebody different. And then the address of the building. It's going to ask you how many units are in the building, how many households are in the building, and then actually how many individuals. So we do want to see the impact, that we're having by making these upgrades. And then just some other questions about the unit, and then you would select which upgrades you are requesting to complete. And if they are replacing appliances or other equipment, it's going to ask you here for specifications about the units that you're replacing, and then specifications about the units that they're being replaced with. So that just goes down there, and then it's going to ask you for an estimated total cost. So you would want to have estimates and include those with the application. And then also asking, if you want to be reimbursed, or if you would like the invoice to be paid directly to the contractor. And I know that seems like a lot there, but it is pretty simple because you're only going to be filling out the actual requests that you're looking for. And that's pretty much the whole process. I know that was a lot of information, and so we did want to, save plenty of time for questions, because we did figure you all would have some. So yeah, if you want to just go ahead and raise your hands, and I can go ahead and call on you. Let's see, Ms. Mitchell?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I have a lot of questions. Hi, Tiffany. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I don't even know where to start, because this is great information, one. So I literally just bought new appliances, LED lighting, inside and outside, and et cetera, to upgrade the property, and also just make it better for my tenants. So I'm in your system. I know recently I told you guys to just take it down, and those were the reason to take those units down, because I wanted to do some upgrades. And it just got done, I think, this week. So I guess my first question is, do they have to be tenants in from your program in the property? And if you've already mentioned that, I'm sorry. I was on the cell phone trying to listen and then jumped on my computer. Sorry.
No,
That's
that's fine.
question one.
That's a good question. I didn't probably specify that very well. So they do not have to be tenants from our programs. The units do have to be in pad mission, which means that you are making them available to our program participants. But at least 50% of the tenants in the building have to be at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. But they do not have to be program participants in our programs.
Okay, so so even though I do have, it's a quad, and I do have 2 tenants that are on Section 8 that's in the building. And since I just recently, I think 2-3 weeks, I apologize, days are just blending in, probably 3 weeks. I asked you guys to just take it down temporarily. Will it still qualify? And is it too late for me to submit, even though they're still working on, and I have receipts and stuff? I mean, contractors, oh God, contract information, I can't think, sorry.
That's okay. So we are going to start accepting applications for these upgrades July 21st. So that will be the first date that we can start accepting
Okay.
upgrades. The upgrades would have to be completed after the application is submitted.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, that's really bad timing.
It is, but I don't know. I'll speak to the property manager to see whether or not it's completed yet. I
Sure.
mean, you said the 21st, right?
Yeah, Monday. That would be next
Yeah,
Monday.
so that's Monday. I mean, it's not too bad yet because we don't know. And I'm hoping it's done, but at the same time, I'm hoping it's not for once. Dealing with contractors. So yeah, I'll get with my property manager to see if it's completed. And yeah, and I guess you're going to email this application to us.
Yeah,
And
we will. Yeah, we're going to email the application out to everybody. It will also be available on our website.
okay.
And we're also going to have like a one pager where all the information is in one place for you guys as well.
Sorry for being so excited, but
No, I'm
we're-
glad you are.
We're
anything
excited, you're
that can
excited.
help with cost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a
and-
win-win for sure.
And for
Yeah.
those units, if you could just, once they're, you know, once you put in the application, if you could just make sure that you put them back on pad mission.
Oh,
I think you said,
oh,
yeah,
trust
okay.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
because we
will.
will be checking before we approve.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so- no
in
worries
there.
on
It's
that.
just not
Okay.
active.
That's
Oh, it's just not
an
active.
issue.
Okay, perfect.
No,
All
I'll
right,
probably
sounds
do
good.
it at the same time of the application, and then, but yeah, I'm about to text my property manager.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. And then I believe, is that Rebecca? Did you have a question? I think you were next.
Oh yeah, hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So in there you said that it's one grant, 15,000 per owner. If someone has
year.
multiple properties in different LLCs and it's not the same owner, how does that work?
So it would be per owner. So if one owner has several LLCs, they could
It's
only
under
get the maximum of 15,000. But if each LLC has a different owner, each owner can request up to 15,000,
Okay, so it depends on how they have their LLCs, you're saying.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be one owner with, 5 LLCs. They're not going to be able to get, whatever. I
Sure.
can't even do the math. I should have done it for 60,000.
Right. So it really all depends how their paperwork is set up, you're saying.
It does. I mean,
Because they
regardless.
usually have LLCs and then management companies, like the bigger companies, right?
Right,
So the
right,
management company is not the owner. See
right.
what I'm saying?
Yes. So but the
What I was trying
owner,
to understand.
each owner that you work with would only be eligible for up to $15,000.
Okay. Even if the property itself is owned by a different person. Because I know, like Jag Properties has multiple places, right?
Right.
But they're not all owned by the same person, but they're all managed by the same company.
Then each owner
As long
could
as the
get,
LLC shows a different owner, right? Basically.
yes,
Okay.
right,
That's
yes.
what I'm trying to figure
Okay,
out.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah,
No, no,
it's
it is a
confusing.
confusing question. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize that till like 3 weeks ago. So that's
Okay.
why I had it. It was a pretty specific question. And then I
Yeah.
also wanted to know if you could email us the slideshow that you just went through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
And
thanks so
this
much.
this meeting is going to
Yeah.
be recorded, or this meeting is being recorded too. I probably should have told you
Okay.
guys at the beginning. Sorry. I
That's
think it
okay.
was noted
Well,
though.
I mean, I just want the information part of it, and I need to figure out if I have to screenshot it or you'll be able to, or I'll be able to see it somewhere.
No problem.
Thank you so
Mary
much.
Ann. No problem. Thank you. Mary Ann?
Okay, we figured out how to unmute. Sorry. Hi.
No problem. Hi.
Is it available to, and I think you answered this, that the tenants don't have to be market and they can be on PIP as long as their income qualifies?
That's a good question. I would assume.
I would assume so too. Yeah, Rachel. Okay, yes, they can be on PIP.
Okay. The second question is, can a partial building participate? We have a building that some of the tenants pay their own utilities and some of the tenants, we pay them all.
The unit, I guess the unit upgrades could only be done in the units where the tenant is paying the bill.
Okay, but it can be done, the whole building doesn't have have to have the same utility structure?
No, I don't see why it would. Rachel?
I don't think so. Yeah, for those like individual units. But I think the income qualification for the building, I think would still apply.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sylvia?
Yes, I was wanting to know, how do you make the request for things that are not on the list there?
So on the application,
We removed it, honestly, but it's
we
okay.
did? Okay.
Yeah, you could just reach out to Tiffany.
Okay.
Thank you. That's a good question. Jerry?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You had a great meeting.
Thanks.
Got a quick question for the tenants. I know some of my tenants that are on Section 8, but how's the process for them? Like, is it going to be a lot of paperwork for them, or what's the process of them verifying their income and all? What's that look like by chance?
So that's a really good question. Basically, the attestation portion of the application is going to be you just attesting that at least 50% of the tenants in the building are at or below the 200% federal, I can never say that, federal poverty level.
Thank you.
And Ms. Spratley?
Hi, everyone. For my building, I right now have a 3-unit, and I only have, and I just posted in Pet Mission. I've done another property, and I just posted this property. I have 2 units vacant. So would the vacant units be eligible as well? I have only 1 unit full.
Yes, yes. They have to be inhabitable, but they do not have to be inhabited currently.
Okay.
Mary Ann?
Oh, we got it quicker this time. Oh, now I got to remember my question. Oh, windows weren't mentioned at all, and I know that there's various programs with the city for windows. Would that be something that would be considered an add-on, or is there another program? While we've got people from the city here.
So Rachel or Tiffany can help, but there's a lot of they may, which isn't really helpful, but we would really need to like sit down and talk about and figure out if because windows in general would not be approved, which is why it's not on the list, but there may be situations where they could be. So that's one of those others where we would have to like sit down and speak to it and one-on-one. But
Okay.
Rachel might have more information since she's from the city, but that's kind of like I saw Vaughn's chat question. Are there examples of work that would be accepted that's not on the list? I would say that if there is something that you feel would improve the energy efficiency of your that's not on the list, that you should reach out to Tiffany and ask, because I don't think we have examples. It's just kind of open-ended.
Yeah, I
but
mean, we
Rachel-
basically,
yeah.
we took the highest impact upgrades and those are all here. So if there's something else that you come up with and we can determine that it would have a major impact on the electricity savings, it would be something that we would consider.
Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is, yeah, we're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck, the biggest savings you can get are really those tier 1 upgrades, insulation, air sealing, ductwork. And then kind of behind that is, the appliances and kind of the in-unit upgrades. So yeah, if there are, I'm not a building upgrades expert, but we've got a lot of, funky buildings in our city. So if there's something that comes up that is, causing some inefficiency, then we can definitely look into that and see if it could be a solution.
Awesome, thank you. Regina?
Yes, are furnaces and boiler systems included as far as an upgrade?
They are not. Typically those are, from what I understand, gas powered. So it is not something that we put on our list.
What if they're electric?
We could probably
Not
have a
gas.
conversation. Like
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, individual, I
Figure it.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, well, that was pretty efficient. Speaking of, so it's only 3:30, but we will go ahead and end the call if nobody has any additional questions. Hopefully it was pretty straightforward. All of the information will come to you in an email as well. And then I'm going to be the contact person for all the property owners. So please just reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me an email. And if you have any questions about it, we can talk through that. Again, applications will be accepted starting on Monday, July 21st. So that's just this coming Monday. And again, there'll be first come, first serve. And we'll go from there. Looks like Ms. Mitchell has another question, another couple questions. Go ahead.
I put it in the chat, but just real quick, does not only you guys, but everyone that's in this meeting know of other programs that's similar to this, like Windows? I'm out of state, so I depend on other landlords telling me stuff. That'll be helpful if you can let me know of other programs of such, like the Windows and etc.
Yeah, I don't particularly know of any, but some others on the call might.
I'm not aware.
And Marianne?
When does the application process close?
So do we have an actual date that it's closing? I mean, this is going to be for 2 years. So I guess it would be 2 years.
Yeah, it's all first come, first serve. So it's when the funding is gone. Or right now we're looking at 2 years.
Thank you.
And it's up to $15,000 per owner per year, and that year is determined is based on the date of the first project being completed. So you have the potential to get $30,000 worth of upgrades over a 2-year period. Sylvia?
Yes. So on the per owner per year, so if my husband and I are joint members of an LLC, are we considered one owner or two owners?
That would be one owner, am I
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would consider one owner.
Okay.
If you were each had separate LLCs, I think it would be different, but since you're on the same LLC, it would be one. And Marianne, you have your hand up. Was that from before, or do you have another question?
From before.
Okay. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up? All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. We really appreciate your attention. And again, super excited to be able to present this to you all. And we look forward to seeing some applications coming in starting next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send the recording out along with all the other information.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great day.
Thanks, all.